is a very sweet intro. Thank you so much, man. It is MLP Dota and John Xfire once again. Jonathan, welcome back. So game number 2 here between Tundra and, of course, the side of D1 Hustlers. John, with this draft of D1 Hustlers, I mean, they've changed things up. They've got a Medusa now themselves. Do you think this is enough to force a game 3 against Tundra, or are we going home after this one?
Could be enough, Mike. It could be enough to force a game 3 out. I do feel like...
All right, get ready.
With the way Tundra plays, I think this constant aggression is still going to be a problem. I do like the activity the Disruptor brings in comparison to a Silencer. I will say one thing. I feel like the Visage lane into Dusa is a little bit weird. Because, right, you're trying to get Soul Assumption up. If you're spamming it onto Dusa, you're not getting any charges back. Right? Because it's burning her mana shield. She's not actually taking damage.
Ah, yes, yes, you are correct.
So you're probably just picking off the support, and Chad should be a little bit better off. Not that he won't die in lane. Your level 1 to 3 is still pretty hard. Pretty easy to burn through the mana, I suppose, with your damage output. But shouldn't be as rough as last game, at least.
Heads up.
Yeah, I think that's fair. We'll see what Chad gets done. I mean, I'm sure he's not happy after that game 1, considering the performance he had. So maybe on the Medusa, we'll see something a little bit different. Wait and see. I wonder if you do want to like just put the Oracle against the Dusa in the laning phase as well.
Yeah, right.
Like, I mean,
this is what you've been ranting about. You've been ranting about
that's
this
the thing. Because especially once you hit level 3, if you just spam Purifying Flames on Medusa,
history will be made on
loses
this
her mana,
not actual
and then
history,
you just kill her. Like it's no problem.
You'd call it.
Concept of that is just so hilarious. Like
They are.
you don't even care about the heal.
No, you don't, because it does
Are
nothing.
they just gonna? No, they went with Fortune's End level 1.
Yeah, well, you need Fortune's End at level 1, to be fair. I think Snaking is going to get out of this lane. He's not going to stick around. Shout out to Reddit for that, for pointing out this Oracle against Medusa thing, by the way. I don't want to take all the credit for myself as Snaking. Speaking of the Oracle, going to take a lot of harassment. Hakoda going to make his life back down, make his life a little bit harder going back down towards that bottom lane, but he will get there. Anyway, mid lane is the lane we're focusing on right now. You're going to have Xantic, of course, against 9 on the quap. The panel already kind of talked about it on the puck. It will be that kind of nuisance towards the quap later on once you do have a Dream Coil up. During the laning phase, though, do you kind of give the advantage to one hero or the other?
Some outplay potential for Xantic here as long as he uses his phase shift well. You can dodge out the dagger, you can dodge out the Scream of Pain. Nine's gonna have to just watch his spell usage. It's a lot harder for the puck to apply constant harassment though. And that is one thing that I think that Puck really just struggles. If you can't constantly land your illusory orbs to harass, your right click fades with a quap is alright. And not the best damage in the Puck in comparison to the quap early on. So you kind of rely on just illusory orb, and having to rely on that to clear out wave and get some harassment a little bit tougher. I can see 9 kind of edging out there.
Top lane sucks, taking a fair bit of damage there from Hakoda, and Chad is going to be fine. One of my favorite heroes right now, John, the Spirit Breaker. I mean, quite frankly, I thought Spirit Breaker was strong before the recent changes, or rather the recent buffs, but now the recent buffs, people start to believe in the hero. And look at this, jump in on Chad, he's out of mana, there's your blood grenade out, and Chad may as well be as good as dead, as he is just going to go down on Hakoda. Still just trying to fight Saksa, will throw the blood grenade himself. Saksa is going to tick out, but the problem is Hakoda may have just given a double kill to 33. And I'll tell you, if there's one guy you don't want to give a double kill to, it's probably 33 when he's playing Visage.
Yeah, he's just going to ramp up real quick off the back of this. Again, we talked about Soul Assumption maybe not being the best, but it doesn't really matter because at least your Spirit Breaker is up front, soaking damage. So you will eventually get charges of the Soul Assumption up. Again, you knock through the mana of Shad really fast with those nukes.
Yeah, 33. Shad's the one in danger though. He's out of mana here, John. Almost. Now he is. Nice bash from Saksa.
Alt skill.
It really is. I tell you what, like some games you just bash whenever you want. Like there's those games where Gaben just wants you to have the MMR, you know? It's amazing.
Frog himself blesses you. Really rough lane again for Shad if that aggression keeps up. Eventually, you'll have some counterplay from Hakoda. He already has a glimpse. Kinetic field feels like it's going to be really valuable as well.
Shad has to be very careful, John. He can't really approach the creep wave like that.
Yeah.
Glimpse back is there, but without mana, without any regen, like you've got to be so cautious because next time charge is available, he's probably just dead.
Just run it down, and we were looking at Shad's lane last time. It was pretty rough. This time shouldn't be as rough, but it remains to be seen so far. This kind of start. See how well he can recover. Still taking a look at that last lane. We haven't really peeked at. A little bit of back and forth in mid, but the bot lane, of course, snaking on the Oracle, Skitter on the Ursa, up against the Vailama on that Underlord, and the Coddle for Teal the Core just gonna go for the stacks up now. This lane, I mean, you can kind of hold your own as the Underlord. You don't mind staying solo. Kill threat onto the Underlord it's likely. You can jump in with snaking, but you're more than happy just farming this lane as well. If the Underlord kind of wants to just dominate a lane, prevent a core from farming, the Ursa not that kind of core to be scared of the Underlord too much, so just able to play that lane just fine. You see 9 being shoved out. A lot of back and forth. This does give a lot of room for Xantic. And that is a good launching point.
He's kind of in the middle of nowhere right now. The Core's going to try and show up with a blinding light, but it's not going to be enough snaking.
Oh, they still
And he
got
had the
one.
Purifying Flames if he needed it anyway. We'll get it done with the right click. And Vailama just getting a little bit greedy and trying to pull the creep wave away, but it is not going to work out as now Hakoda being chased down is going to get bashed, and with the Soul Assumption, it'll be more than enough damage. And Saksa, he is having a very, very good game at the moment, Jonathan. Literally bashing on command.
On demand for Saksa. And just making this lane, again, equally as hellish for Shad as it was last time around. Still finding some farm, but doesn't bode well for the side of Fosters to go off to this rough start. Your launching point has to be from Xantic. Got to see some play with Esports down the line. It does feel like, again, with a Disruptor on hand for Hakoda, you should be able to get more activity out in comparison to the Silencer. We need to see that emphasis as, you know, maybe set up for the 6-minute runes as well. Hakoda already camping early on. Some movement out, perhaps some snaking here. This could dictate
Radiant scanning around for enemies.
Aggression on mid. And, you know, again, for Hustlers,
eyes.
you need a launching point. It's got to be this puck. Underlord's not going to do too much without any connections, and your Dusa will just want to farm after a rough laning phase. So,
Absolutely.
Xantic has to deliver.
Charge out again.
Don't look now.
Hakoda.
Radiant's bottom tower is getting
back. He is not going to have the range for it, so the charge does connect. Sucks to those, gone pretty far. Gibbs is back in the T1 tower. Sucks is still alive somehow, but eventually they will chip away and secure the kill. Nice pick off here for D1 Hustlers. And sometimes your S button stops working, John. You just don't know how to stop the charge.
I think that's every Spirit Breaker player. The S button just doesn't work. There's no such thing as stop. Charge in, do or die,
scanning
Mike.
all over for enemies.
No
breaks on this guy.
Spirit Breaker
More
player.
exciting.
I am, and I would do the same thing. I would not stop. The Vailama, bottom lane, gonna go for the charge in, rather than jump in onto Divine. Skinner goes away with him, man. It's just so many Fury swipes. This 33 is gonna take another double kill. Already up with the Phylactery. Like I said, this Visage, 5-0-0 already. I mean, this is a 33 Visage. He's gonna be a nuisance.
He's already a nuisance. Not going to be. He's already at that point, just at the 6 mark with the familiars, can just run down. Not a safe lane for Shad. Shad's still at level 4. He's left alone. He's trying to soak up what he can. He's trying to farm what he can, but Thundra have set the stage for another very strong start. A little bit of a chase out onto snaking.
Dyer's top tower is really taking a beat.
He's actually gonna be fine. They don't have any points in Pit of Malice. They can't actually lock him down. It's just really sad to just watch this Oracle casually walk away.
Top tower, I'd put on a
That's kind of the state of the game right now for D1 Hustlers. Shad is going to show himself back up in that top lane.
Looks like Dyer's
Highly
top tower is
advised
in
against, though, if you were Shad, because he's low on mana. Saksa is just looking for some vision, and 33 is trying to provide that vision. Shad is going to get spotted. He is as good as dead. I believe as he is out of mana. He's gone. It's the combo between Saxa and 33. Like, the familiars are going to get vision, Saxa's going to charge every time.
From the way it's being destroyed. Don't look now, but Radiant's bottom tower is getting
Aggression is lining up for Tundra 72 start.
Kind of funny.
Every lane going well, even the mid lane.
Gets a bit of a favor here from Saxa, who apparently bashes too often right now.
Some of those spots, you don't want the bash, but sometimes you suffer from success, Mike. Suffer
Absolutely.
from success.
It's a DJ Khaled album. Very good to see you're a cultured man, Jonathan.
Really?
I personally have never listened to his music, but
It's an album from him? Really?
I don't know, John. I don't listen to that garbage.
It sounds like it. Sounds like it would be.
I saw a picture once. It was a meme. Scooter. His HP pool's about to look like a meme here, John. The Underlord will get locked down and Skittle will take care of him. No problem.
Man, Radiant does not like Dire's bottom tower.
That's the Vanguard up as well.
Well, Radiant's middle tower.
No one looks tanky, Mike.
No, they don't, John. 33 and Saxa again, just making Shad's life a living hell.
That bottom tower, there's
They
not
are
gonna be a
rotating
tower.
heroes
Middle
up, so maybe
tower
they
is
can
about to
find
be
a bit of a
pile
trade
smoking
here with the
rock.
setup of
Radiant's
Xantic.
throwing
But
all they've got at Dire's bottom tower.
even if you find a Spirit Break, it's not going to feel that worth it. They're going to try. He does have level 1 bulldoze, so he is going to have some decent status resist. Blinding Light, or rather Illuminate, does not connect. Saxa still going, does charge back towards Xantic, but will go down. Thing is, you just commit so much time and effort for that. And again, they still found the Medusa first. Like, it's not really a problem for Saxa.
You don't mind too much. It is still a pickoff that D1 Hustlers desperately need. Right, we talked about Xantic having to be the launching point. The pickoff does help him accelerate into his Witchblade timing, but it takes a lot of commitment, right? Like, no one else is ready to play. Having to farm up in Divine Llama, want to increase the card first, moving back.
Launch is there, phase shift will juke it out, but Xantic immediately putting the hand up.
Keep out.
D1 Hustlers 9-3 now in the favor of Thundra. Okay, advantage their way. Shad just hitting the level 6 mark as well on the Medusa. Not going for the Stone Gaze, obviously. Needs to try and flash farm his way on this Medusa. They are really suffering in the XP department. Excuse, I said XP department. Goodness me. You know me, I love a good XP, Jonathan. Every sentence I type is basically with an XD at the end. Anyway. 33's level 9, Jonathan, compared to level 6 of Shad's Medusa. That's the state of the game right now for D1 Hustlers.
And he had a dominating lane. It's a lane Sox could leave him alone in. It's a lane that Shad couldn't even stand solo up against the Visage on. So it's to be expected. A slower start for the Hustlers once more. And it's set to feel even worse. Yorsa free farming into the Battle Fury now. Skitter just uncontested. The Underlord lane just applying that much pressure. Charge up into the Vine. Viz from 9.
Cancel it off. They cancelled the charge. Skitter doesn't mind. Himself, no problem. Mid lane. Saxa looks like he's maybe trying to set up on Xantic, but that's a pretty hard pick off to secure. So he will just jaunt the other way.
Things are looking dire for
immediate TP out, and they haven't got the vision for the charge.
Forget I said that. The bottom tower.
And they can just focus down the mid tier 1 now, Tundra. No need to try and force something. So right after the mid tier 1 tower, Illuminate's not going to do it anywhere near enough, as Sax is immediately going for the charge back up top because he saw Shad. We'll cancel that one off. Hakoda was there to help just in case anyway. Yeah, you had the level 3 glimpse back. I think Sax is just kind of scaring him, right? It's like when you build Phylactery on SP. You're not doing it for the damage, you're doing it to send a message.
Yeah, you definitely are. You're a Phylactery Spirit Breaker enjoyer, aren't you, Mike?
I am actually. That's the first experience. I bought it straight away when it first came out on 7.33 on SP. And it literally was a matter of, I'm just going to press charge on somebody globally. They're going to get the damage, and they're going to just, they're just going to run back to Fountain because they don't know where I am, It's amazing. It's a psychological thing, John.
Oh, you were this is well, early Roshan coming out from the side of Thundra. Hustlers seem to know something softly. We're kind of moving in a smoke, but the scan is from Tundra. They don't want to move it out yet. Hustlers can't cross with a tier 1 level.
Probably open
Could be perfect timing. The Violama. So close, so far. Off the T1 tower, but Roshan is now taken.
Most accurate name, was it? Don't look now, but Radiant's
If only
bottom
they
tower
checked.
is getting obliterated.
It's so hard.
fine.
Tier 1 up, your smoke just breaks. You can't find the angle.
Oh, nice glimpse back. That's a perfect glimpse from Hakoda. Quick on the fingers. Gonna catch it mid-blink. Goodness me.
That's a big one. That's the kind of kill that Hustlers needs. Does take quite the commitment out from your Disruptor. Static Storm down, but find something. Stalls out Tundra for making any play with the Aegis. Not the longest respawn in the world, but you've got some room now to perhaps look to clean up that bot. Not gonna go too aggressive though. Play it a little bit safe. And the side of the Hustlers are getting a lot of room out for Shad. Already has the Yasha up into the Manta next. So he's been able to grow. And he's been able to farm. He's got some wards to protect. Really sneaky wards though from Tundra to keep constant eyes on Shad. Things are out.
Charge. Shad gonna find out the hard way they are incoming. Look how much mana he loses from one charge. Dark Crypt will come out. Divine Llama. They'll try and go after 33. 33 is a tanky boy, but not quite tanky enough it seems. They will lock him down to the pit of Malice. Still Fortune's End does come in. And with the false promise, he will survive a little bit longer. They do go for more. Sucks up. Trying to fight. Is probably set to fall. And he will. Thundra looking to back off now as D1 Hustlers off to a pretty good start with his team fight, but they do have Skitty here now. And he's got the Aegis up. Divine Llama is still going after snaking, but a huge Sonic Wave is going to land through quite a few. It's not the setup they're looking for.
Don't look now.
D1
but
and
Radiant's
Tundra
bottom
both
tower
not
is
sure
getting
about this fight.
obliterated.
Are going to both back out of there. I suppose for D1, as long as they know Shad remains alive, they'll be happy with this fight.
They did have to commit the Static Storm and the Fiend's Gate to get up there. They're going to lack some tools in the next fight. And the side of Tundra did have to pop that false promise earlier and the Sonic Wave, of course. So they're also in a bit of an uncomfy position to just jump in. They need this Blink to come out first on Skitter. It's on the way in the Courier. If you had a Blink a little bit earlier on, that could have been a very different story, but you avoid the worst for now on the side of Hustlers, although Thundra's still ready to make a play.
See if they can force out the phase shift of Xantic. It won't really matter anyway. He'll just jaunt away with the orb. $5k advantage. Sitting there for Tundra. At least Shad does have the full Manta up now. 9 Skinner. They're going to find him. Shad is just getting destroyed.
Jeez.
I mean, this Ursa just dealt that much damage.
Illusion.
It's kind of scary for the Medusa. You just
It's
can't
not
show on the map.
great. You're going to have to try to kite Skitter as best as possible. You do have the tools on hand to kind of get that done. Clearly, some good kinetic fields, some good glimpse backs can help to buy you space. But you need a lot more speed. Just the Manta alone on the Medusa is not comfy enough. The Scotty has to come out. The Butterfly has to come out. And you have to keep stalling. And for the side of Hustlers, even though they're finding some counter kills, it doesn't feel like they're pushing the pressure back. They're not anywhere
Radiant
close
does
to
not
the
like
tier
Dyer's
1s
bottom
elsewhere.
tower, and it
They're not able to do too much on the map. It's hard to catch out at Xantic at the least, but then it's only really a decent trying to farm up here.
Nice phase shift. Static Storm going to be dropped here from Hakoda. Please have a Spirit Breaker. 9's thinking about popping the Sonic Wave. Not doing so quite yet. Asuxa somehow still alive. Actually walking out. Oh, he's got it out of there. They're trying for a TP plane.
Oh,
He's
God.
probably just made it. How?
Solar Crest. Just enough durability, just enough movement out. Get the distance. That's a lot of commitment.
Skidder now trying to commit. He's not going to do it. He'll go back to farm the jungle instead. But still, I mean, Tundra just 6k ahead, looking like they're in a very strong position. Shad just trying his best to catch up here on the Medusa, but it's a very slow process right now. So you just can't trust any part of the map to be safe. And speaking of, like, he's in his dire triangle, but Skitter's running right towards him. They haven't seen each other yet. Hakoda, he's going to be the sacrificial lamb.
You came too close
He's
to
gone.
what is mine.
And now Shad, you just can't stick around this area. Because Skitter will take the fight every single time.
He's it. Our page
Don't look
is set to
now, but
expire.
Radiant's bottom tower is
So
getting
you don't really
obliterated.
manage to have it pop. You've done a lot of on the map. You've applied pressure here from Tundra. The defusal for Skitter on its way now, and we saw how fast the Dusa melted without it. You're pretty just dead every single time, it feels like. For Shad, so you have to kite. Yeah, you have to be able to kite here on the Hustler's End. Blink up on Exantic. That could help the cause in terms of jumping in and out, just being a bigger nuisance, forcing a lot of responses out onto the puck, buy space for the Dusa as much as possible.
That bottom tower, there's
For
not going to
Tundra,
be a tower left.
I mean, even if they're not finding these kills, they are 7 to 6k ahead. They've gotten control of the map.
Man,
They just
Radiant
need
does
to
not
probably
like Dire's
dig
bottom
into these
tower,
tier
and it
2s,
shows.
start to, you know, lock away some Tormentors on the other side, start to get aggressive on enemy Wisdom runes, take over the map, and just keep that steady build up. Because you've still got the Ags coming out for 9 down the line, the BKB now for Skitter, as he does finish up the defusal. Your answers are lining up anyway. No rush to end. Even if Shad gets
Dire's
all the
middle
space,
tower is taking
it just
one
feels like
hell
he
of a
needs way
beating.
more time. Just too much time.
Thealacore charge is going to be there. They have the vision with the familiars of 33, but Thealacore going to be just fine as now Saxa needs to back out. Fortune's End will purge off the solar bind provided there by Thealacore. It's going to be just fine here from Tundra. They do successfully disengage as Divine. Spotted there by Skinner. He wants to jump in. He got 3 targets. He's just jumping right into the static storm. He could not care less about it. Thealacore also getting caught. Should just drop though. Xantic. He's doing a lot of damage into the Ursa. It's not enough. The false promise will come in. Slowly it's compact Shad actually petrifying quite a few of them. Thundra, they could finally be in trouble, but it doesn't really seem like it. They're all still very healthy. They're trying for snaking. A huge sonic wave in the backside from 9, gonna catch 2 of them. Divine Lava dropping too low, should go down to the Overlord. Meanwhile, Thealacore and Shad both caught out. They'll leave the Coddle be. They'll go after Shad instead. In fact, I say that. Thealacore is also going to go down. It's basically a full team IP for Tundra. And they made it look really easy, John, let me tell you.
Let's rip them apart. Now they're going to be able to steal that Tormentor away that we just mentioned. Maybe start to look at pressure onto the objectives, although the Cooper is pretty far out. Just rip them off anymore that D1 Hustlers can't find. Now you've got the Reign of Destiny coming out from snaking as well. More heals, more ways to sustain
You can tell
these
Dire's middle
fights,
tower is in
and
trouble from the way it's being
your
destroyed.
solutions for
as I speak.
Skitter, it just feels limited. False Promise comes out, heals back fully.
A gift from
You
the
attack
tempest of
Adusa.
battle.
I mean, you're still doing Fury Swipe stacks while the mana shield's up. So when she loses her mana, she just melts. You don't. 758 HP is just not enough. Even with the full Scotty, I don't think it's going to be enough HP. Once your mana melts, Skitter will just one-shot you almost.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me laugh every time I look at the Medusa HP pool. Like before the Manta was up, it was 450. And it's like, man, what world are we living in where Medusa has a lower HP pool than Crystal Maiden? You know what I mean? It's actually kind of crazy, and it leads to my point that I always like to make. I think Crystal Maiden might be need to be nerfed here, John. Like, there's a higher HP pool than Medusa.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not right.
True, Mike. Fair enough. I agree with
Dire's
you.
top tower is really
Just,
taking a beating.
Just take out all her HP. Give her 10 HP.
I was thinking
And-
movement speed, John. I saw Reddit make a thread about
If you're in the
CM
vicinity of
having
Dire's top
325
tower,
movement
I'd put
speed
on
as a
hard
core
cap.
CM.
Don't look now, but Radiant's
I
bottom
agree with
tower
them
is
for once.
getting
I agree with Reddit.
obliterated.
We should reduce.
Okay, fine. You
Get
can
rid
look.
of.
It's kind of funny.
We've talked about
Make
this.
her
I suppose.
stationary. But when you pick CF,
Oh
I'm being told I'm supposed to say
no! Right into the devil's
Radiant's
den.
bottom
Like
has cashed in its brick chips. Hope Dire's middle
There
tower
goes
is
your mid
insured.
pump.
The team is standing on
goes your
its
mid
last
puck.
brick.
There goes the static storm for the team fight as well. Thundra's going to have a little bit of an opening for a minute 20. Roshan up in a few seconds as well. That's something Tundra can just get back into. So, Hustlers, I mean, they're still trying to stall. They're still trying to buy time for Shad. It does at least have a two ultimate orbs up. Scotty not too far off. Again, it just doesn't feel like it's going to be enough. At the least, it's going to be easier to try and kite
You can tell
around
Dire's
Skitter
middle tower is in
once
trouble
that
from the
Scotty
way
is
it's
up and
being
running.
destroyed as I speak.
It just hasn't felt like you've been able to kite around Skitter anyway. You need to jump the back line, but even your puck has to focus in on the Ursa, so snaking's free to just use that false promise every single time. And then you just can't deal with it. It's a difficult game once more for the Hustlers. And this time around, this is where teams get tough. Your high ground play, it's not going to be as bombastic as when you had the Magnus for the
top tower is
body.
really
You
taking a
don't
beat.
have that kind of threat on the high ground hold, so it's going to be a lot harder to stall it out that way.
Oh, Xantic, phase shift, gonna blink away to the north. Saxa just losing the vision, can't go for another strike. The D1 Hustlers not out of this game yet. 16k behind though, not in the healthiest position for themselves at the moment. Thundra certainly looking for another big team fight if they can afford to take one. Denial armor showing mid lane, but oh, Shad. Shad is the bigger target. He's going to get a very nice one off. He's trying to do with the macro illusion. And now this strike will be committed onto that illusion. And now they will realize that they got outplayed here by Shad. Well, Nine's jumped in. They are still going after illusions here on the do some. Nine being very, very aggressive with the shadow strikes being committed. Keep in mind, he does have the eggs up in the quap, so these shadow strikes do a lot of damage.
One hell of a beating.
Regardless though, Tundra not finding the target they wanted. The 2 mid tower is going to be under siege now. I think overall, even with a great management like that from Shad, it just doesn't really mean much if you can't take a team fight.
It is stalling out for the Scotty, and they will smoke up on Hustlers. They've dropped Static Storm, so they don't have that
If you're in the vicinity of Dire's top tower,
one isolated hero, you're going to be more than happy here.
Oh, Divide. Quick Yules. Suspecting Skinner to jump in. Problem is, though, Skinner has a diffusal blade, and Divine Llama, he's just not out of the woods yet. He's gone. To join his dead teammate, minute 33. Oh, Shad, he's been caught out by the familiars. He jumped right in the middle.
Monster kill. That's a double.
Oh boy, this might be a GG call coming, John. It's been a very rough game, a very rough series for D1 Hustlers. Mind you, they are the kind of team that just wants to play it out all the way to the end, so they might hold out, but no, they call it GG. It's too one-sided. Like, you know you're not coming back with your Medusa this far behind.
May not be long for this.
Yeah, they are up against the winners, Jonathan. They are up against the champs, so if you're going to lose to any team, it may as well be Tundra.
I feel like still, the Hustlers again did a great job in game 1. Game 2, the same issues